Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Saturday the 25th of January 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino at sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right, let's see what we got today. We've got this video here by Jack saying that if Bitcoin is not being used as cash, as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, then he says the project has failed. And he says we should move on to something else. What on earth is going on there? We've also got Jobis Lubins from the Ethereum Foundation saying Ethereum Foundation needs to change. Consensus will step up. I mean, I wonder what he's saying about like Ethereum needs to change. I mean, like, is this Trump coming in? Are they all getting concerned that suddenly, well, actually, we need something that can be used as cash, and cash has to be a commodity. Cash is the most liquid form of money. Money has to be a commodity. Suddenly, they're just realizing, hold on a minute, are all our projects a load of shit? You know, in these next 4 years while Trump's in office, you know, is the truth going to come to light that we're scamming people? Dear, oh dear. Also made this a little image here. For the round table that I'm going to do, just trying to explain Bitcoin to everybody as simply as possible as to how you can actually sort of commoditize data. Some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then we'll go through the figures as per usual because they're looking pretty great. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong and transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Here we go. Right, rock and roll. So first of all, the man himself is back. We hadn't heard from Craig in about 7 days. I hoped that he was all right. And he's posted an hour ago as well. Another one an hour ago. There was another 5 hours ago. So let's just catch up on these then, really. So he'd said here, had a couple of injuries that have slowed things down. And with my thesis due next week, time has been tight. I haven't been able to follow up on much, but I'm still around. I'll be back once this is done. Phew! Phew-wee! And it looks like there's a thread here. So let's follow this thread. What's this? The slow bleed. They call it income tax. They call it fair, but it's not about fairness. It's about the slow bleed. The old money sits in towers, untouched, wrapped in trust, stitched into corporations. Their billions glide past the ledger, smooth as silk, quiet as a whisper. But you start something new, you build, you grind, you take the risk, and here they come. They come with their hands out before you can stand, before you can breathe. You hire a man, they tax you. You pay yourself, they tax you. You buy the things you need, they tax you again. The real game isn't about wealth. The old guard keeps theirs locked away in rules they wrote for themselves. The game is about control. They don't go after the rich. The rich have lawyers. The rich have accountants. The rich have escape routes. They come for the builders. They come for the ones crawling their way up. For the ones who don't have loopholes yet. For the ones who think playing fair means winning. They say it's all about funding schools, hospitals, roads, but those things are just excuses. This isn't about making things better. It's about keeping you in your place. And if you want to keep a little more, prove it. File. Explain yourself. List every penny. Turn your life inside out. Show your debts, your choices, your failures, your breath, your blood. Because they own that too. Because they own that now too. Oh wow. This is epic. This is epic. They call it income tax, but it's not about income, and it's sure as hell not about fairness. It is a system about punishment. Income tax about government. Income tax about a government that figured out a long time ago that if you keep a man just barely afloat, if you let him have just enough to eat, just enough to drink, just enough to keep his nose above the waterline, he won't ask too many questions. He won't fight back. He won't build anything worth a damn, because the moment he does, they'll take their cut. That's the real joke. Income tax is not a tax on wealth. It's this insidious cancer is a tax on creation. Oh, this is great. The guy who takes nothing and turns it into something. The guy who risks his time, his money, his sanity to build something of value. That's the guy they want to put down. They don't go after the fat bastards on the yachts, the ones that are born into money, the ones who've got lawyers and accountants stacking their cash in places no tax man can touch. Those guys don't pay. Those guys live inside a world of trusts and shell companies and paper-thin corporate fronts that shield them from ever having to part with a goddamn cent. No, income tax isn't for them. Tax for the rest of us. Tax for the guy who wakes up at 5 in the morning to open his shop. Income tax is for the woman who works 2 jobs to start her own business on the side. It's for the freelancer, the contractor, the entrepreneur, the people actually making something happen. They're the ones getting fleeced. The tax man comes not with a knife but with a scalpel, cutting deeper and deeper each year, taking just enough to keep you going but never enough to let you get ahead. And here's the kicker. They'll tell you it's for your own good. They'll tell you it's for the roads, for the schools, the hospitals. They'll tell you it's about the social contract. But what kind of contract is this, where one side dictates the terms and the other has no choice but to sign in blood? Where your labour, your efforts, your sweat is treated as if it belongs to them first, and you're just lucky they let you keep some. They never go after the old money. The old money is sacred. The old money moves through time like ghosts, untouchable. There are estates, there are offshore accounts, there are legal structures, so Byzantine you'd need a goddamn priest to exercise them. Old money is protected, but the guy who starts a bar, the woman who runs a bakery, the guy who builds a tech company from his garage, those people are the ones being punished. And why? Because new money is dangerous. New money means change. New money, Bitcoin before BTC neutered it, means someone is rewriting the rules, shaking up the old order, creating something that didn't exist before. The system doesn't want that. The system wants stability, meaning it wants the rich to stay rich and the rest of us to stay right where we are. Think about it. You hire someone, you pay tax. You make money, you pay tax. You pay your employees, you pay tax. You reinvest your businesses, you pay tax. It's a system designed to reward work, not to reward work, but to reward those who already have money. It's a closed loop, and if you're not born inside of it, you're never getting in. And then there's the control, because it's not just about taking your money, it's about making sure you know everything. It's about making sure they know everything about you. You can't just pay a flat amount and go about your life. No, you've got to report, you've got to list your earnings, your losses, your deductions, your spending. You've got to explain why you think you deserve to keep more of what you earned, like a child asking for permission. It's an invasion. A creeping, insidious from the submission, and if you make a mistake, if you forget a form, if you miscalculate, if you try to keep a little bit too much, well, then you're a criminal. Then they get to hit you with fines, audits, threats, and if you don't pay, they take your business, they take your home, they throw you in a cage. Oh, this is epic. This is brilliant. The billionaires don't have to deal with that. They've got teams of lawyers. They've got entire battalions of accountants working night and day to make sure they don't have to pay a damn thing. If the IRS shows up, they make a phone call and it goes away. But you're alone and they know it. The irony of it all is that there's a better way. You could tax transactions. You could tax consumption. You could take the same tiny percentage from every movement of money from every person without exemptions, without loopholes, but they don't want that. Because this was never about revenue. This was about fairness. This was never about fairness. This was never about funding the public good. It was about keeping you in your place. Income tax isn't about making sure society runs smoothly. It's about making sure you don't get ahead. It's about making sure the people who actually work, the people who build, the people who create, stay just desperate enough to keep grinding, to keep hoping, to keep playing the game. Because if you get too successful, if too many people like you make it out, then the whole system collapses. Then people start asking questions. Then people stop needing the government to keep the world running. And that's the last thing they want. Because the moment people realise they don't need a bloated bureaucracy leeching off their work, the game is over. The entire structure, built on endless forms, endless deductions, endless audits, crumbles into irrelevance. And those in power, they can't have that. They don't know how to make anything. They don't know how to run a business, how to create wealth, how to build anything beyond a web of rules designed to keep themselves entrenched. So they keep the machine running. Make sure just enough people stay afraid. That's the secret to income tax. It's not about the money. If they wanted money, they'd tax every transaction the same. If they wanted money, they'd make it simple. A flat rate, no deductions, no loopholes, no armies of accountants. But simplicity doesn't serve them. Simplicity doesn't create dependence. Dependence is what they want. They want you to need deductions. They want you to beg for relief. They want you to be terrified of making a mistake, of triggering an audit, of stepping out of line. They want you to think that you need them to navigate the system they built, even though that system only exists to siphon off the wealth of people like you. And every year they tweak the rules just a little bit more. They add a new form, they shift a bracket, they redefine what counts as income, what counts as an expense, what loophole they'll allow the rich to keep, what loophole they'll allow the rich to keep, and which one they'll take away for the small business owner. Every year the tax code gets thicker, denser, more indecipherable. Not because it needs to be, but because confusion is power. If you don't understand the system, you're always worried you've missed something, you're easier to control. Meanwhile, the people who should be building, the people who should be innovating, spend their days poring over spreadsheets, hiring consultants, keeping up with shifting regulations instead of making something worthwhile. The government doesn't make money, the government doesn't create anything of value. It exists by taking from those who do. And if you think you can escape, if you think you can find a way to maneuver them to keep what you earn, they'll call you a criminal. They'll call you a tax cheat, a fraud, a threat to society. Not because you stole anything, but because you refuse to be stolen from. Because in their eyes, what you earned isn't yours. It belongs to them first, and you should be grateful that they let you keep any of it at all. But here's the thing they don't understand. The thing no bureaucrat, no politician, no tax collector has ever understood. The people who build, the people who create, the people who drive the world forward, they don't need the government. The government needs them. Oh, this is brilliant. This is gold. Oh. And that's why income tax exists. Not to fund roads, not to build schools, not to support the poor. It exists to keep you in check, to make sure that you don't get too far ahead, that you don't become independent, that you don't start thinking you can live without them. Because the moment enough people figure that out, the moment enough people refuse to play along, the whole rotten structure falls apart. That is brilliant. It's someone with such a fundamental insight into how the system is absolutely and utterly rigged. And remember, they print fiat currency from nothing. They don't need to tax us at all. It's absolute fraud. And in fact, as Lord Denning said in, I think it was Lazarus Estates versus Beazley, if fraud is found anywhere in the system, it invalidates the entire thing. And fiat currency is fraud. Anything paid in fiat currency is fraud and is therefore null and void. They do not need to tax us in fiat currency. They create fiat currency from nothing. They can print whatever they want. All this bullshit about $22 billion black holes. Give me an effing break. It is fraud. It's outrageous. But that was a fantastic read. That was a fantastic read. Loving that. Loving that. Right, let's get on to this. Great to see CSW back. Hope you get well soon. So let's check out this video. Jack Dorsey on the dangers of strategic Bitcoin reserve. He quotes here. You have to go back to the white paper. This is peer-to-peer electronic cash. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. If we don't achieve that, it's a failed project and we should move on to something else. All right, let's have a listen.
For Bitcoin holders, if this ends up just being digital gold, I think it's failed.
How do you feel about the concept of nation-state reserves?
The strategic national Bitcoin stockpile.
Well, I think it's good for the nation state. I don't know if it's necessarily good for Bitcoin. It's probably good for Bitcoin holders in the moment that the Bitcoin is bought. But if this ends up just being digital gold, I think it's failed. I don't think it has a life. If it ends up being a currency that people can use on a daily basis, then it's succeeded. You have to go back to the white paper. This is P2P electronic cash, and we have not realized that yet. And that's why I'm in it. I'm not in it to create digital gold and watch the number go up. Like, I want to be able to use it. I want everyone in the world to not have to ask for permission to move money and to have to ask their bank whether they can deposit something or withdraw. And if we don't achieve that, to me, it's a failed project and we should move on to something else. For Bitcoin holders.
What a hypocrite. What an absolute hypocrite. He was the one that's involved with Blockstream and not wanting it to scale, saying it is digital gold, and now he's changing his tune. Is this because Trump is coming into office? Is this because all these shysters are now going, people are actually probably going to catch on later on when they realise what we've done? That's what it sounds like to me. What an absolute shyster. An absolute shyster. Check this one out. Cointelegraph says, Joe Lubin, Ethereum Foundation needs to change. Consensus will step up. All right, let's see what this is all about. The heated online debate over the Ethereum Foundation, and again, it's the foundation that literally controls Ethereum, and a change in governance, again, it's government, it's centrally controlled, signals the need for a shift in direction, says Consensus founder. Ethereum co-founder Joe Lubin has supported calls for an overhaul of the Ethereum Foundation and says that Consensus is ready to step up and play a more active role. He told Cointelegraph that for his for-profit company has a huge has hung back to avoid being accused of undue influence in the blockchain. But that recent event suggests people still kind of rely on us to market Ethereum and to be the major champions for Ethereum. Quote here, so that surprised me, but also excited me because we're ready to get louder about that and again compete vigorously. The Ethereum community has been racked with infighting over the past few weeks, with anger over the slow progress of the scaling roadmap because it can't scale. That's hilarious. And Ether's languishing price being taken out on a perceived lack of leadership by the Ethereum Foundation. Well, it's proof of stake. Everybody's just sitting back getting fat on this stuff, collecting their staked tokens. It doesn't need to do anything. It's an absolute piece of shite. Much of the online criticism has been aimed at Executive Director Aya Majewski, with a push to replace her with the Ethereum researcher Dan Ryan. While Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin said recently that leadership changes are coming, he also lashed out at trolls in a bombshell post on Jan 21st, revealing he's still the sole person in charge of the Ethereum Foundation after a decade and stating that attacks on Miyaguchi make him less likely to give in. Well-known Ethereum proponents, including ETHHub founder Eric Corner and Anti-Procethis, propped their .eth handles in protest. Dropped their .eth handles in protest, though Aprotheses added theirs back on Jan 23rd. It's getting heated because we all care, said Lubin. Yeah, care about their own pockets. But I think the community is identifying and screaming about something that could be considered a problem or just a signal for a shift. So I do think that we need a shift to different kind of mode for the Ethereum ecosystem and the Ethereum Foundation. Lubin said that while the low-key approach of the foundation was appropriate during the US Securities and Exchange Commission war on crypto in the past couple of years, times have changed with the new administration and the expected pro-crypto regulations. Quote, but with a massive go signal, I think that there's going to be so much aggressive pursuit of whatever, just trying things out. Take risks, moving really fast, and I do think we need a high energy everything in our ecosystem, including the Ethereum Foundation, he said. They can't scale. That's their problem. Their problem is going to be there forever. They can't scale. They can't do shit. And that's their problem. That's why people are getting frustrated. They can't do anything. Can't scale. Oh, I haven't really got time to read through all of that. I might read that myself then. 5 shifting to the Bronze Age. Time changes with the election of pro-crypto. I wonder if it's all this pro-crypto stuff. Suddenly, if people are pro-crypto and the administration is looking at stuff, they're going to realise what shit does and doesn't work. And also probably looking at the foundations to all these economically worthless security offerings. I think the Ethereum Foundation might be exposed, and Ethereum might be exposed for being an economically worthless, illegal, unregistered security. That's massive. And these are the elements that you need in order to ensure that a token is commoditized. First of all, the foundation must be economically competitive. The foundation to the network must be economically competitive. There must be multiple operations economically competing with one another to sustain the operation. It's the only way. That's the foundation. Then the structure of the network must be structured as a chain of digital signatures. It's the signature that validates the transaction, that exposes the living man and woman behind that. It's like if a contract is not signed, it's null and void. If the transaction doesn't have a signature on it, you can't tell who it came from or who it went to. That's literally, it must be a chain of digital signatures. And the chain of digital signatures also moves accountability and responsibility from those who are sustaining the operation onto the users of the operation. So if there is criminal activity taking place on the network, those who are economically sustaining it are not on the hook for it. It's up to the users of the network to stamp it out. And you can stamp it out by tracing it through the chain of digital signatures. That's why the chain of digital signatures is so important. There must be unbounded scale, or an uncapped block size, so limitations and restrictions cannot be manufactured and the network not be manipulated. And last of all, there must be a fixed asset supply, the asset that economically sustains the network so that it can't be inflated or deflated. And that's it. And then those 4 elements here must be locked forever. That's how it works. That's why I've put number 5, locked, because it applies to all of this. Economic competition must always be there. A chain of digital signatures must always be there. Unbounded scale must always be there, and the fixed asset supply must be fixed forever. That is it. That's how you make a common digital network, and the only network that has all of these in place is the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin that now has the ticker symbol BSV. That's it. That is it. I just don't quite know how to make it any more clearer than that. You know, I hope people get this. It's so simple when you understand it. Right, let's get back onto a little bit of 365 days of Bitcoin history. I missed out on the 23rd of January. That was when Ross, check this out. So on the 23rd of January 2011, Ross Ulbricht registered the website silkroad420.wordpress.com on the free WordPress blogging platform. And 4 days later, he is believed to have created a user account named Altoid on the shroomery.org website, a site claiming to demystify magic mushrooms. Altoid's first post on the site promoted the new Silk Road website, posing as a curious potential user. Let's have a quick look at this. The International Business Times. I think that's where I must have got the dates from. Yeah. On the 23rd of January 2011, Ross Ulbricht registered the website silkroad420.wordpress.com. Oh, amazing. Do you know what I mean? Just massive bits of Bitcoin history there. On the 23rd of January last year, 2024, CSW wrote, "I'm the punishment of God in cryptocurrency. If those had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon them." Well, let's hope so. Let's hope he's still doing that. The Punisher. Loving that. On the 23rd of January 2015, with day 7 of the Silk Road trial, Ross Ulbricht said, "Here's the secret Silk Road journal from the laptop of Ross Ulbricht. Ulbricht's full journal and logbook, the most damning piece of evidence that would be used to convict him." Whoa. So I need to change those around. On the 24th of January 1971, the World Economic Forum launched. This was the same year that document FCO30/1048 was drafted and published on the 1st of July 1971. And the Nixon shot was also announced on the 15th of August 1971. Pretty much these were the foundations for the totalitarian one world government, corrupting the legal system, corrupting the financial system, and creating their propaganda arm, which is the World Economic Forum. On the 24th of January 2008, the Bitcoin White Paper. It says the Bitcoin White Paper was first created and later published on the Social Science Research Network. Yeah. So the document was created and published on the Social Science Research Network for peer review. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Let's just remind ourselves. There it is. So it says date written here, August 21st, 2008. And that was the abstract here. But open in PDF browser. There we go, and we go into document properties. We see created 24th of January 2008. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Author Craig Stephen Wright. Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. There we go. So published to the Social Science Research Network on August 21st, 2008, before the official release of the white paper on the 31st of October 2008. Amazing. On the 24th of January 2009, there was Hal Finney and Jonathan Thornburg emailed each other. On the 24th of January last year, Dr. Craig Wright issued a settlement offer to COPA members and all parties in upcoming intellectual property litigation. A deadline of 31st of January 2024 was set to accept the offer. Now look at that. Here we go. Oh, can we see that? Craig Wright offered to settle the claim number. Obviously they didn't accept it. Instead they corrupted the judge instead. There we go. Dr. Craig Wright's offered to settle the claim. Published in the Financial Times. Amazing. On the 24th of January, COPA rejects Craig's offer. He also said, when was this? In 2023, I will give an offer to save BTC Core and allow Core to stay to trade honestly to exist. I expect that they will reject it. If they do, BTC ends. Let's see what they choose. Well, BTC is still going. It's still going. 25th of January 2009, their emails from Dan and Satoshi. Then 25th of January 2024, the Law Gazette reports on CSW's offer to COPA. This is the Law Gazette. So they reported on that. That was when it all started heating up. Didn't quite go the way we expected, but who could have known that they'd corrupt the judge? They got the judge in their pockets, exposing themselves as just like unbelievable criminals. Unbelievable criminals. Right, let's have a quick look at the figures then. Been 26 minutes already. So we've got Bitcoin at $52. Yeah, that matches. Top left of the screen, 51.87. Let's have a look at the difficulty adjustment. Yeah, still all-time high. Yet again. More all-time highs. That's crazy. Let's have a look at the hash rate on Bitcoin. Oh, just ticking up a little bit on BSV there. Alright, I'm looking forward to seeing the pie charts later. Alright, let's have a look at transactions. So we've got 64.5% across all the Bitcoin forks. That's representing 20% of the overall Bitcoin, crypto market. Just 727,000 transactions. We'll cross-reference that with what's on chain. Ooh, 673,000 transactions. Going down. Let's have a look at the block sizes quickly. Yeah, just 2.8. Biggest one on there. They've really tailed off. 3.3. It's currently 76,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 33.3% comparable loss. Much of a muchness on the other chains though. It's 6.3% more profitable to mine Fisher Price Cash. 1.5% more profitable to mine Gregcoin over a Bcrash. Alright, and let's have a look at the pie charts then, because this is where the politics is. Global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate, Foundry USA April 34%, other miners 1.39 on there, profitability still being carefully managed. Bcrash, other miners 58.3, again, profitability being managed. Fisher Price Cash, who cares? And we've got Bitcoin. Let's cross-reference this with what's on chain. Still got 6 miners on there according to what's on chain. Tal, Kuv, QD Link, others 8.8, Gorilla Pool 6.6, Top Pool, not heard of them before, 0.74. That's a new one on there. Top Pool, wow, wasn't expecting that. Crypto Quant, oh, what's this? Exchanges reserves going down and down and down. Blipped a little bit up there. I wonder if that's anything to do with Trump getting into office. Maybe they're trying to be slightly more positive about it, maybe. Who knows? Let's have a look at the Tether weather. Oh my goodness me, what is this? 138.9. And it's gone up to 139.3. Oh, they've got it. So it's that's roughly 400 million gone in. Yeah, 400 million. 400 million that just pumped in. Literally just earlier today. Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Oh, it's been going up over the week. So it's gone from a low of 138.1 and we're now at 139.2. So $1 billion has gone in the week. $1 billion gone in a week. They literally cannot help themselves, can they? What on earth is that looking like? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is shocking. That is shocking. Look at that. Brought it down just to pump it back up again. You know, got to maintain the Mac Daddy at the top of the charts. Short ratio, just 0.47. Right, let's have a look at the exchanges here. Qcoin, 90,000 24-hour trade volume. OKX, 1.4 million. Gate.io, almost like 500,000. Binance Futures, 4.7 million. Upbit, 2.1 million. But Indox still 18 million. 18 million on Indox. Poloniex, 10 million. Wow. So Poloniex is more than Binance Futures. Poloniex looks like it's in second place with 10 million. Behind Indox with 18 million. Zedixian, 6.9 million. Yeah, these other ones not under a million in all of them. That's actually really quite interesting. Right, let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. Whoa, looks like there was a drop there. Shouldn't they be red candles? Red candles should be going down, should they not? What's going on? Okay. So it dropped off a cliff. Oh. Dropped off a cliff. And then we're back to starting from the beginning of the year. Back above where it was at the beginning of the year. Interesting. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus US. What is this? What? That looks an absolute shambles. What are we looking at there? Oh, there we go. Alright, let's have a look at Orange Gateway. Bitcoin versus USD. Just plodding along sideways there. Alright, yeah, so it's down, back to where it was at the beginning of the year in terms of USD. Let's have a look at this compared to the Mac Daddy BTC. Oh. Yeah, that's on the negative, that is. On the negative. Right, let's have a look at the overall charts. We've got market cap of $3.59 trillion. Gregcoin up $104,000. But trade volume just 1.9, representing $39 billion. The 140 we know of the Tulip Trust would absolutely crush that. Absolutely crush it. Alright, where is a Bitcoin in amongst all of this crap? There it is. $85, $51.66. Trade volume just 2%. Overall volume $20 million. 24-hour trade volume. Still a lot. Still a lot. It could pick up at any time. So volumes then Dixian apparently here. And then HTX. Coin DCX. I think that's the Indian exchange. Followed by OKX stuff. Let's have a look at liquidity. Hit BTC, Changely Pro, XGO, not really heard of them, Pinex, OTX and Zedixian. Growing. Right, there we go. That is a quick 34-minute show. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Setbit.com, Handcash.io, Simply.cash, Relation.com, Rockwallet.me or Senti.ch. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it as ever. Be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.